everyone. My name is Caroline Brazier, and I'm going to be presenting to you the website app Seesaw. Seesaw has been an incredible tool for me to use through the past few years, and even more so in the last few months when I was a remote teacher. There are many different things you can do with Seesaw, and it is a super great way to keep families, students, and teachers and administrators involved in children's learning. Over 10 million students, teachers, and parents are using Seesaw. Wow. When I first started using Seesaw, it was a 1-to-2 ratio. 1 out of 2 schools in America were using Seesaw. That number has increased in the last few months. 75% of schools in the USA are using Seesaw, and that has gone up since March. So that is just an incredible number to see that many people are using Seesaw. I think that is incredible that parents, students, and teachers are wanting to be engaged in their children's learning, and I have just found that it is an amazing tool to do that. It's great for distance and traditional learning. You can use it at home or at school. As a matter of fact, you don't have to be at either of those places. As long as you have a Chromebook or a computer of some sort and a smartphone, you can use Seesaw. You can download the app or you can go to the website to use it. So it is not limited to just those two areas like maybe pencil and paper would be. There are many different places that you can use Seesaw and keep your students engaged and learning. In this training, I am going to discuss several things with you. I'm going to talk about signing up for Seesaw, and do not worry, even if you're not very tech savvy, it's super simple. It's not very complicated like some other websites and apps. I'm going to introduce activities to you and show you how to assign activities. I'm going to also show you how to invite parents and guardians. We're going to discuss pricing options. I'm going to show you how teachers can stay engaged, and we're going to take a little time to practice. I'm going to show you how to do these different things and just kind of the ins and outs of Seesaw. So the first thing I want to discuss is signing up. So you'll type in this website shown on the screen, https://app.seesaw.me. Sometimes people get a little confused with that. It's not seesaw.com. That won't take you to the right website. So make sure if you just type in app.seesaw.me, it should take you there. You'll click I'm a teacher. You can sign in with Google, or you can create a new account if you want to sign in with some other email. I have found that it's easy for me to use my district website. We have connected it with Clever, which automatically links up my classes, and it automatically allows the students to link up as well. And you can add students by clicking the plus sign and students. Like I said, I will show you a little bit more about how to do this at the end of the presentation, but it's super simple, really easy to do. Here is a little bit about activities. So in the right, you can see there is a little example of an activity that I included. There is a way to approve or trash your students' work. So the approve button has been really helpful for me and for I know a lot of other educators as well. If you want to be able to review what your students are posting before everybody else can see it, before their parents can see it, this is extremely helpful. There's also a way to approve all. You can see that at the bottom if you don't want to take the time to go through and look. But I've just found this to be extremely helpful because I want to see my students' work. I want to see exactly what they're doing. You can now, if you have the certain version of Seesaw, you can send the assignment back. So maybe there is something that your student hasn't done exactly correct. You can send it back to them and make a comment about what they need to fix. Like, for example, hey, Zach, great work, but you do need to go back and check your punctuation, capitalization, whatever it might be that they need to fix. So to assign activities, once you go to the activity section, which I'll show you how to do, you'll click the green plus sign, and then you'll go to assign activity. You can browse the community activities or create your own. Guys, I cannot stress enough how many incredible activities there are created by our fellow educators. I have only created a few of my very own. There are just so many helpful things that you can look for to assign to your students. This can be extremely beneficial for those of us who are looking for low prep activities. So maybe you don't want to, spend hours and hours doing some simple work and extra work for yourself when there are great activities posted on Seesaw. So all you have to do is go browse through the activity. There are some for just about every standard. If there isn't one that you want to or that you don't like, that's not meeting your criteria, you can make your own. It's super easy to do, like I said, and you just kind of have to spend a little bit of time playing with it like you would any website. But super easy to do, really great to keep your kids engaged. I know that my students more and more are wanting to use the computer to do their assignments. It keeps them focused and working diligently. So feel free and please use these great activities that your fellow educators have made for you. So if you're wanting to assign that activity from the community, you can select your grade and subject, and you can click assignment and assign to class. So you can assign activities to your entire class, but this is also a great way to differentiate. I have found this super beneficial for my early finishers and my students who need a little more enrichment. So if you're having a student who consistently finishes activities earlier than all of your other students, they're doing it correctly, assign them some enrichment activities with a more difficult activity on Seesaw. So when they're finished, they can simply go grab their Chromebook, log on to Seesaw, and get started on one of these more difficult assignments. Or you can give a fun activity for them to do as well. I know there are lots of just fun, maybe play activities as well that people have created. Great for the holidays, great for any extra downtime. So there are all kinds of different things in these community activities for you to do. If you have the school for Seesaws for School, you can even share with your fellow teachers in your school if you create those. So I'll go into that a little bit further in a minute. Inviting parents and guardians is really simple as well. So it engages the families in the child's work. You can invite by printing or sharing the link. So once you add all of your students to your class, you can actually click on the families button, and it has an automatic created sharing invitation for your students. So those of you that are traditional, you can print those out and send those home for your parents. There is a QR code on there. So if they have an iPhone or any type of smartphone, all they have to do is scan the QR code, and they can download the app on their phone, or they can type in the website and get connected that way. You can also share the link. I know a lot of schools these days have text messaging websites or apps that they use to communicate with parents. So you can share that way or through email, anything like that. You can actually now include a maximum of 10 family members. So you don't just have to include mom and dad or guardians. You can include aunts, cousins, grandparents. I know that I've had several of my students' grandparents join their Seesaw, and that has just been extremely exciting for them. A lot of times, students might not be able to see their grandparents consistently, but with their grandparents and other family members engaged and connected to Seesaw, their grandparents and other family members can see what these children are working on, and they can comment and like on the activities, and see their child's work. So it'll give them a notification, and like I said, they can like and comment on their work. My children always get super excited when they log on to Seesaw and they see that their family members have commented or liked their work. A lot of times the parents will comment something super encouraging like, "Great job. Make sure to um, see that you got the correct answer before you're turning in your work. Double check," things like that. Or just simply, "Have a great day, stay focused, keep up the good work." My students always love that connection between home and school life. So when they get on Seesaw at school and they see that their parents have commented, it's super fun and exciting for them, and they absolutely love it. Let's talk a little bit about pricing and the different types of Seesaw. So there is free Seesaw, there is Seesaw Plus, and there is Seesaw for schools. So you can see that many of the basic features can be used with all three. Multimedia tools to capture student learning. All three of these versions can be used for that. Compatibility with hundreds of other apps. Organized portfolios by student folder and date. Parent-family access and notifications. Messaging between teachers and families, and class blog. All of those features are used and able and free with all of the different types of Seesaw. There are some big differentiations on this page and the next between the three. So you can see at the bottom of this slide, teachers per class. There are only 2 teachers per class on the free one, 5 for Seesaw Plus, and 20 for Seesaws for schools. I would suggest the higher grades maybe, and any type of students who need some, any type of students who need some interventions, those teachers, it would be great to have Seesaw Plus. And active classes per teacher, 10 for free, 25 for Seesaw Plus, and 100 for schools. Again, the Seesaw Plus and Seesaw for schools, great for higher grades. Like I said, my school has connected Clever with Seesaw, and you can see that can be done with any version, but it has allowed me to assign different activities to my different classes, like math, reading, science, social studies, etc. I don't have to assign all these activities to my one portfolio, one class, because I have multiple classes. It's good to have multiple classes, like I said, for intervention, maybe your activities, music, art, anything else that you would want your own class for. The different classes and the Seesaw Plus and Seesaws for schools is really helpful if you're wanting to separate those activities. Here is a little bit of the pricing continued. So there are 100 activities per teacher and 2 collections per teacher for the free Seesaw. 500 activities per teacher, 10 collections per teacher. You can schedule activities. You can assess student progress towards standards and skills by class. You can post privately and record privately on Seesaw Plus. And then you can see in the last right column, that is Seesaw for Schools. That is actually what my district has. There are a lot more features that Seesaw Plus uses. It's super helpful to have all of these extra features that we can use. And we can even like share school-wide our assessing standards. We can there are lots of different features for school-wide analytics and management and IT administration. So lots of different things. You will just have to take a second to kind of look at this, study this, see which one is maybe best for you. And if you find that, you like using Seesaw after a while, you can maybe, reach out to your administrator and suggest using Seesaw as a good remote learning tool, a good tool for in person. It's great for everything. Teachers can monitor what is being posted. I showed you a little bit about that before. So you have you're able to approve the work that your students are posting, or you can send it back, or you can just delete it altogether. Sometimes I have found that, our more silly students, if they have too more downtime, they just want to take a silly picture. But I also found that it's really important to lay the ground rules when using Seesaw. If you allow too much freedom with it, you'll have students who post silly pictures, and you'll have to, maybe trash that and have a little discussion with them. You can communicate with parents. So this app allows you to connect the parents, as I told you before. Not only can they comment and like their students' work, but you can also message them. So Seesaw is a great way to do that texting if you have not found a good resource to use to communicate with parents. Here is a sample. You can send out an announcement to the entire class, which you can choose if you want to send it to just students or students and parents. So here's an example of one I did last year. Tomorrow is our field trip. If you signed up to send a lunchbox with your child, please do so. It might get a little chilly on the bus, so jackets will be allowed. We are so excited. So like I said, you can push out announcements to the entire class and their parents. You can choose just parents, you can choose just students, or you can message parents individually. I know a lot of times we need to talk to parents individually. If you can't make a phone call for whatever reason, shoot them a little text on Seesaw. Let's practice. All right, guys, as I said, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to use Seesaw, and we can practice it. So when you go to the website, this is the screen it should take you to. You can choose I'm a teacher, I'm a student, or I am a family member. I am going to first choose I'm a teacher. And here you can see you can do the sign in or create account. If you were to create an account, you could sit here and type in all of your information, or you can do sign up with with Google. So since I already have an account, I'm just going to go to sign in and sign in with Google. Click on my email. And here on the right side is where you would go to view all of your classes. So you can see right here, I have notifications in every class. I also have my different class names. So here I have handwriting, homeroom, language arts, math. I created one specifically for this presentation. Reading, science, social studies, spelling, and here's your school-wide portfolio, and here is my entire school. So let's go to my presentation class. When you first come to your class, here is a little demonstrative video that you can play that kind of shows you how Seesaw empowers students to demonstrate learning. So as I told you about assigning activities, this is your student journal, but I'm going to go ahead and go to activities. When you go to activities, you can click right here to add an activity, or you can browse the activity library. You can also do that by going right here to the add. So you can see you can post student work, assign activity, or send an announcement. When you click add, that's just some different things to add. I'm going to click assign activity just to show you guys a little bit about how to do that. So as I showed you earlier, you have your community activity library, your school and district activity library, or you can have your own library that you heart different activities on that you find that you like, and you can just assign them whenever, just to have them, in your file in case you would like to view them later. You can see I have 145 that I have liked, just in case I need to use at a different time. So here I'm going to go to community. And you can see right here, I already have second grade clicked for myself, but you have all different grades. You have all, then you have pre-K through 12, or you can do other, which would be just kind of like another all section. So I'm going to go ahead and click all grades. And then you have all subjects, and you can do all subjects, which include art, computer science, drama, digital citizenship, ELA, ELL, health, higher education, history, home learning, math, music, PE, reading, religion, science, SEL, social studies, special ed, STEAM, world languages, and writing. You can see there are a variety of different subjects that you can choose from. You can, this is also for, specials teacher and activity teachers. It's not just for core subjects. You can see drama even they have included, which we don't have at my school. This would be great for bigger schools and higher education groups. It's great for everything. So I'm going to go ahead and click on reading. And this includes activities for all levels and all grades, but I'm going to go ahead and go more specific to second grade, which is what I teach. And you can see right here, these are great grades. Digraph word sorts. Your name is everything you are. Sight words, fluency, just different things that fit different standards. So I'm going to go ahead and click on just this silent E activity. And right here it gives the student instructions. This is by Miss Audrey Lepke, and she has great simple instructions. Step 1 tells the students, this is the student instructions, I'm sorry. But after you assign this to the student right here, the student can view these instructions. You click, it tells you step 1, click add response. Use the draw button to circle the correct way to spell the word. Use the microphone to record yourself reading it, and click the check mark to post. So let's go ahead and view that. So here, as I told you, you can click on whichever class you would like to assign this to. So if you have different classes, different periods, this is good for that. Let's say I want to put this in language arts or reading. So I can just click this button right here, and that would assign to the entire reading class. Or I can click right here, and that would assign it to any students that I needed to. I'm not going to click that because it has my students' names on it, but it would show you here in this class. I only have my sample student, but you can select whoever you want. So I'll go ahead and assign this to just my sample student. And then we'll go look at what the students see. So here is what the students will see when they log on and they go to their class. So right here, it automatically just popped up for me to try as a student. So when the students click this, they'll click add a response and they'll click their name. Other students' names will pop up in that area, but this is what they'll see once they click their name. So on some different assignments, you'll have multiple slides, kind of like Google Classroom, maybe. Google Slides, you have to click on different slides. This one only has one, but keep that in mind for other activities in case they have those. But let's get started on this little activity. Right here, you have a text box. You have the microphone, the camera, and some other features like you can insert shapes, backgrounds, or links. So I want to go ahead and view the instructions again. So here's where you can see that if you're a student. So they already clicked the add response button. Now the next instruction is to use the draw button to circle the correct way to spell the word. So it should all, or here, down here, you have a pencil, a little pen, a highlighter, a marker, and an eraser. And over here to the right side, you can see that on these different utensils, you can choose your coloring. So sometimes that might be great in case you need to, color code something or one assignment. So circle the word. I would just circle hate, and that's wrong. So you would erase it, and it's great. It doesn't erase the background. That stays, and then I can fix it and circle hat. So if a student did turn that in and you notice that they did something wrong, like circle hate, you could send that back to them and just instruct them to maybe circle it in a different color, or you can have them erase it and fix it. At the top, you have your Zoom button, which can be beneficial if you have something like fluency or a worksheet that you might have uploaded, or any students who struggle visually, they can zoom in and still do the assignment and to see a little bit better. So you can also click the back button, which erases your last mark, which is great. When the students finish it, they will click the check mark over here. If they maybe are not finished with the assignment yet and you want them to go back later, this will be good for maybe your early finishers assignments or your enrichment like we were talking about. They could click the draft button and that'll let them review to it later to finish it. So right here, you can see that that the student is not finished. They'll just simply go back to it, click edit, and when they are finished, they will click the check mark. But we're not finished with this assignment yet. The next instructions are to record yourself. The student will simply click this microphone button, and you'll most likely have to click allow to use your microphone, especially if you're on a Chromebook or a school device. I know that usually pops up just about every time my students get on. And then this will come up and they just click start recording. And right now it's recording me, and you can see that you have up to 5 minutes to record. And then they'll just click done. But that's great for speaking and listening skills, practice for students to practice maybe reading a speech. If you have more shy students, that would be great for them if they're maybe get more nervous to speak in front of the classmates. Maybe you could have them pre-record it and just project it for your class so they don't have to face that anxiety and different activities like that. You can also click to upload a picture or a photo. This is great for at home and remote learning. So maybe you're doing a scavenger hunt and part of the scavenger hunt says I know we were studying rocks earlier this year. You could have them go find a rock and take a picture of it right here. Again, you'll have to click allow. And here my picture comes up. simply snap the picture. They can drag it over, resize, do whatever they need to do, and then click the check mark, and that is when it returns to you. So, and then you'll have the opportunity. You can see right here, it doesn't show up because I did the assignment, but once your students do that, the notification will pop up right there. So I told you that you will, and then you'll be able to see all your students' work right here in your journal. But I also told you a little bit about adding students. So right here is where you will click to invite your students. So it says, when you're ready to use Seesaw with students, they should follow these instructions. So they can go to the app or on the phone or on the computer. They will choose the I'm a student button. They can simply scan this QR code. And so you can see right here, add students. I can add a student name. Let's do Dayton. And I don't have one, so here's his name, and I'll do create a new student. So he's in here now, and here is everything that I have for him. I can put his email right here, his ID. I can add his family members by clicking invite family members. You'll have to turn on that family access. That's in your settings. Right here you can do the print sign-in poster. And here is what your students will use. Let's take a second and look at the families. So right here, you'll do invite families. You can type in the phone number, or you can type in the email address. Here's where I talked about printing invites. You can print in multiple different languages. So this is even great for your English language learners. I've sent home multiple Spanish copies, and those families have been able to log on with no trouble. And then you will just print the invites. So it'll come up as one document. I only have Dayton in here right now, but it'll be the rest of my class also connected. If you need to, you can just print, number 2. You're probably going to have to send multiple invites to these parents. So I would just strongly suggest trying to get these families connected to see their students' work. Or like I said, you can share a link. And here's the link right here. You can just simply copy it or press the copy button. It's copied. Go to whichever app you use. Go to your email, anything like that. Here is your inbox. Like I told you before, you can post a student announcement. So let's see. Send to all students, all family members, all students and family members. And I will just say, have a great day. Just to students, send now, and that is pushed out to all my students. They can see that, or you can send it to your family members. Here is your skills. Sorry, guys, it's loading. And you can add new skills, like type in whichever name, standard that you are focusing on, the subject, and whichever. And you can, let's say, I'll do reading 2.RL.1 English. Just typing in what they have. Reading. And my skills should be added here. And then you can tag the skill that's in each lesson. So right here, I would say maybe this is 2RL.1 and check mark. And I could say which or however they did on that. Did they master it? Did they not master it? Do they need more work? Over here once you click on your name over there in the corner, you have the little settings wheel. There are different things you can do for this. You can go to your account settings, your sharing settings, your contact Seesaw support, device info, privacy center, sign out. This is where you can edit your display name. So instead of maybe saying Caroline Brazier, I would say Miss Brazier. I have my picture, my email. You can add your phone number if you need to. Here's your subscription and the details. And there are just lots of different things, like I have said multiple times. But if you need any more help, you can go to Seesaw's website. There are tons of resources. There is free training for teachers. There is professional development for schools for Seesaw. You can go watch videos on how to get students started, how to get families started. And that is the end of my presentation, y'all. And I hope y'all have enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please let the district know, or like I said, go to Seesaw to see more information. I hope y'all have a fantastic week and enjoy.